Welcome to FlyEaglesFly News, where Eagles fans get the latest, fastest, and hottest updates. Hit subscribe and fly high with us. The rumor that refuses to cool down around the league is now being whispered with a little more confidence. And the tone has shifted from wild imagination to cautious belief. When a giant like ESPN lets it be known that a star from Washington could be heading toward Philadelphia, the football world leans forward in its chair. Terry McLaurin has long been seen as the heartbeat of the Commanders' offense, a player whose presence commands respect in every huddle and fear in every defensive meeting room. The idea of him wearing Eagles green feels almost surreal, like one of those moves people joke about on talk shows until the laughter slowly fades and the realization sets in. Around the league, insiders suggest this is not a done deal, but it is far from empty noise. Front offices talk, agents float ideas, and sometimes those ideas grow legs. The Eagles, always aggressive and always hunting for the next advantage, are said to be monitoring the situation closely. McLaurin represents more than a receiver. He represents reliability, toughness, and leadership. For Philadelphia, adding a player like that would be a statement of intent. A message that the window is not just open, but being forced wider. For Washington, the whispers create tension, uncertainty, and a sense that change may be coming whether fans are ready or not. What makes this rumor particularly fascinating is the timing and the emotional weight attached to it. McLaurin is not just another talented athlete on a roster. He is a symbol of perseverance for the Commanders, a player who has produced regardless of chaos around him. To imagine him lining up against his former teammates twice every season adds a layer of drama that the league thrives on. Sources close to the situation describe conversations that feel exploratory rather than final. Yet there is a seriousness underneath the casual tone. Philadelphia's front office has built a reputation for bold moves, often striking when others hesitate. The Eagles see an opportunity not just to add yards and catches, but to bring in a culture setter who thrives under pressure. Meanwhile, Washington faces the difficult reality of balancing loyalty with long-term planning. Rumors suggest internal debates, with some believing moving McLaurin could reshape the future, while others fear the backlash of letting a franchise cornerstone walk away. Fans are split, analysts are speculating, and players around the league are quietly watching, aware that this kind of move can shift the balance of power within a division overnight. From the Eagles' perspective, the appeal is obvious, even if no one will say it outright. McLaurin fits the mold of what Philadelphia values: physicality, intelligence, and a relentless motor. He is known for doing the unglamorous work, blocking downfield, running precise routes, and setting an example in practice. In a locker room already filled with strong personalities, his voice would carry weight without needing to shout. The speculation suggests that the Eagles believe adding a player like McLaurin could elevate everyone around him, opening space, creating mismatches, and forcing defenses into uncomfortable decisions. There is also the psychological element of acquiring a rival star, which sends a message not just to Washington, but to the entire conference. At the same time, this rumor highlights the human side of the sport. McLaurin has built relationships, invested in a community, and embraced the identity of his current team. A move like this would not be just a professional decision, it would be a personal upheaval. That tension between business and loyalty is what gives the rumor its emotional charge and keeps fans glued to every new whisper. On the Washington side, the uncertainty feels heavier, almost like a cloud hanging over the organization. McLaurin has often been the stabilizing force amid coaching changes, roster turnover, and shifting expectations. Letting him go, even in a strategic move, would signal a new chapter, one that might prioritize future flexibility over present stability. Those close to the Commanders suggest there is no appetite for a rushed decision, yet the noise is impossible to ignore. When a player of McLaurin's caliber is linked to a divisional rival, the stakes rise instantly. Fans imagine worst-case scenarios, highlight reels in opposing colors, and painful moments that could define seasons to come. Executives, however, are paid to think colder thoughts. They weigh value, timing, and leverage. The rumor mill suggests Washington is listening, not necessarily selling, but aware that opportunities like this rarely come without consequences. Every conversation, every leaked hint, adds fuel to the fire. Even players in the locker room can feel the shift. The unspoken questions, the curiosity about what tomorrow might bring. The media's role in amplifying this story cannot be ignored, especially when a major outlet lends its voice to the speculation. Once ESPN's confirmation enters the conversation, the rumor gains a sense of legitimacy. Even if details remain murky, analysts debate fit, cap implications, and locker room chemistry, while fans dissect every word. For hidden meaning, in Philadelphia, the excitement is tempered with caution. A recognition that many rumored moves never materialize still. The idea of McLaurin catching passes in that offense sparks imagination and endless discussion. In Washington, reactions range from denial to resignation, with some insisting the team would never empower a rival in such a dramatic way, yet history shows that rivalries do not always stop deals when interests align. The league thrives on these moments of uncertainty, where narratives collide and futures feel malleable. McLaurin, at the center of it all, continues his work quietly, at least publicly, embodying professionalism while his name dominates headlines. That contrast between silence and speculation is what makes this story feel alive as the rumor continues to circulate. It becomes less about a single transaction and more about what it represents. It speaks to the shifting power dynamics within the division, the aggressive mindset of contenders, and the difficult ice is facing teams in transition, whether or not McLaurin ultimately ends up in Philadelphia. The fact that the idea feels plausible says a lot about where both franchises stand. For Eagles fans, it is a tantalizing vision of dominance and depth. For Commanders fans, it is a test of patience and trust in leadership. The league watches, waits, and speculates, knowing that sometimes the loudest rumors fade away, while others quietly become reality. In this case, the combination of talent, rivalry, and timing ensures that the conversation will not die easily. Every practice report, every vague quote, and every analyst hunch feeds the narrative until clarity arrives. The rumor lives on, growing with each retelling and reminding everyone why this sport, beyond the games themselves, captivates so deeply. The second wave of speculation dives even deeper into the emotional and strategic layers of this potential move, painting it less as a simple acquisition and more as a calculated gamble, with ripple effects across the league. Round Philadelphia, the conversation is not just about adding another weapon, but about redefining identity. The Eagles have built a reputation on toughness and unity, and bringing in a player like McLaurin could reinforce that image, while also challenging existing hierarchies. Insiders suggest that coaches admire his approach to preparation and his ability to elevate younger teammates. This is not a flashy rumor built on highlight plays alone. It is rooted in respect for consistency and character. At the same time, the front office understands that any move involving a divisional rival will be scrutinized intensely. Every dropped pass, every quiet game, would be magnified under the lens of rivalry. That pressure is part of the appeal and the risk. McLaurin, known for his mental resilience, might be one of the few players capable of thriving in such an environment. The rumor suggests that Philadelphia believes the reward could outweigh the noise, transforming an already formidable roster into something even more intimidating. In Washington, the internal dialogue reportedly carries a tone of cautious realism. Leaders within the organization are said to be asking difficult questions about timelines, windows, and the true direction of the franchise. McLaurin's value is undeniable, but so is the reality that football is a business driven by cycles. Holding onto a beloved star can inspire loyalty, yet it can also delay necessary change. The speculation hints at a philosophical crossroads, where sentiment clashes with strategy. Fans feel this tension deeply, torn between admiration for a player who has given everything and fear of seeing him thrive. Elsewhere, the locker room dynamic is equally complex. Teammates respect McLaurin not just for his play, but for his voice, his example, and his steadiness. Losing that presence would leave a void that no single replacement could easily fill. Yet some within the building may see opportunity in reshaping the roster, redistributing leadership, and building toward a different future. This rumor, therefore, becomes a mirror reflecting the broader uncertainty surrounding the Commanders. What adds fuel to the fire is the sense that this story fits a familiar lead pattern. Big moves often start as whispers, dismissed as clickbait, before slowly gaining credibility. The involvement of a trusted media source shifts perception, making people wonder what conversations are happening behind closed doors. Agents, executives, and coaches all understand the power of controlled leaks, of shaping narratives without committing publicly. In this context, the McLaurin to Eagles talk feels like a chess move, not a roll of the dice. Philadelphia signals ambition, Washington tests the waters, and the rest of the league takes notes. Rivals imagine the matchup, Implications: defensive coordinators picture new challenges, and fans indulge in both excitement and dread. The rumor's persistence suggests that it serves a purpose, even if no deal materializes. It forces discussions, clarifies priorities, and reveals fault lines within organizations. In that sense, the speculation itself becomes part of the game. FlyEaglesFly News family, smash subscribe and hit like. Your support keeps the freshest Philadelphia Eagles updates flying in. Drop your take in the comments and let's talk birds. From a storytelling perspective, this potential move has all the elements that captivate audiences: a star player, a bitter rivalry, and the possibility of a dramatic shift in fortunes combined into a narrative that feels almost scripted. You can already imagine the first time McLaurin would return to his former stadium. In opposing colors, the mix of cheers and boos, the emotions simmering beneath every snap. That imagery fuels talk, shows, podcasts, and fan debates, keeping the story alive. The Eagles fan base, known for its passion, would embrace him fiercely if he arrived, while Washington supporters would wrestle with conflicting emotions. The league thrives on these human stories, where loyalty, ambition, and competition intersect. This rumor, regardless of outcome, reinforces why player movement is such a powerful force in shaping perception and excitement. As the days pass without resolution, the silence from the key figures only deepens the intrigue. McLaurin's professionalism keeps him above the fray publicly, yet his name remains central to the discussion. Philadelphia's leadership stays measured, offering no confirmation or denial, while Washington maintains a stance of focus and control. That restraint is typical, yet it also leaves room for imagination to run wild. Every analyst with a microphone feels compelled to weigh in, adding layers of interpretation that blur the line between fact and fiction. In this environment, certainty is elusive, and the rumor takes on a life of its own. Fans refresh feeds, searching for clues, while insiders hint at developments without revealing substance. The story becomes a slow burn, sustained by curiosity and the knowledge that the league is always one unexpected move away from upheaval. Ultimately, this speculation serves as a reminder of the fragile balance between stability and change in professional football. For the Eagles, the idea of acquiring McLaurin symbolizes a relentless pursuit of excellence, a refusal to stand still. For the Commanders, the rumor underscores the difficulty of building while competing, of honoring the past while planning the future. Whether the move happens or not, the conversation has already left its mark, shaping expectations and emotions on both sides. The league watches as the franchises navigate this moment, aware that decisions made now can echo for seasons to come. In the end, the rumor is less about a destination and more about possibility, about the constant motion that defines the sport. Until clarity arrives, the speculation will continue to swirl, fueled by hope, fear, and the enduring allure of what might be. That's a wrap from FlyEaglesFly News. If you want the fastest Eagles updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Sound off in the comments. Let's talk birds.